Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And this is our review for Nope. Nope is directed by Jordan Peele and stars Kiki Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, and Yeun. Two siblings running a California horse ranch discovering something sinister in the skies above. Now, unfortunately, we are a bit late to seeing this movie because life, and then after the movie had screened, we were actually on our way to Comic-Con. What I'm saying is we basically missed the immediate screening as soon as it came out, but we finally just got to see it, and here's our thoughts. What were you expecting going in after seeing the trailer?
After seeing the trailer, I was really curious on what this was going to be like, because we, at first, we didn't know if it was going to be like a monster movie. It wasn't until we figured out that Nope actually stood for Not of Planet Earth.
Well, I don't know if did Jordan Peele ever come out and confirm that, because I know the people in the comments in our reaction video said it, which I think is super clever that they figured that out, but I don't know if the director himself confirmed it.
I actually thought that was actually something that was like official.
Oh, there was nothing, like they kept the entire plot of everything around this movie so mysterious that, which I think is super smart because it intrigues the audience.
Yeah.
To want to dig into it a little bit more. But you could kind of tell it was something seemingly extraterrestrial. So yes. I think whether it is, you guys let us know in the comments if it was officially released by the movie studio or by the director that Nope was kind of stood for Not of Planet Earth, or if that's something clever that you guys just figured out. So let us know. But after seeing the trailer and we were going into the film, you were thinking maybe monster movie, maybe alien.
And, Jordan Peele, it's like his movies get kind of shoehorned into the horror genre, but they're not really horror movies. They have their moments of suspense, they have their moments of drama, but they don't always, there's always a message behind it, and there's always something a little bit more and different than just your standard horror movie. So it's always one of those things that when you go into one of his movies, you're kind of like, what exactly am I going to get here?
Yeah. From Get Out and Us as well, you can really see that Jordan Peele likes to have a message. And I think the message was pretty clear in Get Out. For Us, I had to watch it a couple times and watch a couple of breakdown videos to fully understand, because I want to understand the message. And sometimes, whether you're in the intended audience or not, sometimes that message is embedded so deep that you have to, research a little bit to understand. So I was thinking going into this film, I was like, man, first of all, the title is smart.
It's very clever. It's really fun. It really kind of gets you just that, what you say during a scary movie the entire time.
Or in a situation, you're like,
nope,
nope.
Nope.
I say it a lot. I actually say it a lot. I'll say I'm going to nope out of there. So I think that is really clever. I think the marketing around this film has been really clever. And again, it was shrouded in mystery. What we were going to get, but we were thinking definitely something up in the sky, because they were always in the trailer staring up in the sky. So essentially, if you're here, there is a little bit of minor spoiler as to what, because I feel like we can't really talk about the film without talking about what that phenomenon is.
Yeah.
So if you've made it this far, I think you've already figured that part out. There is something from the sky. It is not, we don't think, organic to Earth. So, the pacing of the film is really interesting because it started out and I felt like there was that suspense thriller element already right in with what happened with their dad on the ranch when random items were just falling off the sky.
Yeah, and they want, I don't want to go into it, but
yeah,
it's what kind of propels the story forward and starts building up the characters of the two siblings.
Yes.
And it kind of makes it so they're struggling. It shows them trying to get back onto their feet because their dad was really the driving force behind this whole business. He was the personality, skill, the talent, and it really was his kids that was supporting him. But once he got removed, how are they going to be able to stay afloat?
And it's really interesting to watch both Kiki Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, who are both really fantastic actors, and to watch the difference between the two of them is really interesting, where Daniel's character is a little bit more, I don't want to say shut in, but he's a little bit more stoic.
Yes,
a little bit more serious. Reserved. Very reserved. You show they kind of see the two of the I'm about to call them twins, or not twins. You see the two of them on the movie set where he's kind of reserved, quiet, and trying to relate the safety of the horses to the people on set who literally were not paying him any respect or attention.
Yeah.
So Kiki Palmer comes in. She's a lot more lively. She's a bit louder. And even still, they kind of, I feel like, on the set did not take them seriously.
Yeah.
And it just kind of cemented, like, how they were viewed in the industry as well. It's kind of like they're successful. They got this whole ranch, this legacy their dad left behind, and they're not able to move forward, and they're actually struggling a little bit, having to make some changes to the ranch.
And that's what this first part of the movie really is building up the characters between Daniel Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer. It's just the fact that they're trying to get their dynamic down, their struggle down, the people around them that are, you know, I guess next door to the ranch.
Yeah, they're...
But I have to admit, this first part is very much a slow burn. I have to say almost the first half of the movie is just this building up of the characters.
Yes.
And also their neighbor character, Jupiter's Claim, which I have to admit,
Jupe.
I wish I would have been able to see a little bit more
Of Jupiter's
Claim. I wanted to kind of see this fun little, out in the middle of nowhere kind of tourist attraction. And I have to, they built up a lot of some of these characteristics. I feel like they were building up to something and then never really went anywhere. So they spent all this time on these characters, but then didn't go anywhere.
I feel like maybe I kind of feel how you can definitely see that with the Jupiter Claim part of the film. Maybe not so much for Daniel and Kiki's character.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they certainly were present throughout the whole movie. But I did feel Steven Yeun's character was cut short a little bit. But it's interesting what you find out about his attraction and his history and how that kind of goes into the whole thing, where you figure, like, oh, he's not just some, random victim to this thing in the sky. There's actually a lot more to it. And I've been trying to figure out kind of the messaging for all this. And one of the ones that I feel like, and I probably it's totally wrong here, but how far will you go to, there's something to be spectated at and to be recorded and to use as a financial gain or in a personal gain to, get more famous or whatever it may be, and how far will you go even though it's unpredictable and unsafe?
Yeah, and also I think having that, turning something into a spectacle, that's a wild animal. They happen to mention, one of the lines that they happen to mention is, they mention Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried and Roy. There is Steven Yeun's character, in his backstory, there is a wild animal present. The horses are a wild animal.
Yes.
So there is constantly this theme of kind of taking something that is a dangerous wild animal and doing it and turn it into a spectacle when you really shouldn't be. And I guess that is one of the messaging
messages. Think. Yeah.
I would love to wait for a interview with Jordan Peele and see his, now that the movie's out, or his well, this is what I was going for.
Yeah. And I feel like he probably has talked about it, but we've been staying so far away from those articles because we hadn't seen the film. So now that we have both seen it, we can both go ahead and read to our heart's content, because I really want to take a look, and then once understanding that a little bit more clearly, maybe go back and watch the movie to see it in a different lens. But with that said, the trailer may seem horrific and scary. The actual movie, I say isn't. I would say this, if you're worried about, oh, this is gonna look too scary. Out of the 3 Jordan Peele films, I think this is probably the least scary out of the 3.
Yes.
I would say. I would also say this is the most beautifully shot out of the 3.
And also the sound design.
Oh, it's incredible.
What they did with that thing in the sky is it's an interesting take on it, and it's one of those things that you really should see it in a place that has really good sound, because it's interesting, it's alive, it's interesting how
it's animalistic, it's kind of human. There's a certain shape to this thing that I had a theory about, but I don't want to ruin anything in case you guys haven't seen it yet. So yeah, there's a lot to pay attention to, I think, in this film. And I think with a lot of Jordan Peele films, you kind of, when you see it a second time, you're like, oh, I noticed something. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and give our rating for the film. If you're curious about our rating scale, it is listed in the video description below. Dustin, what is your rating for Nope?
I'd have to say these movies aren't mainly one of the type of movies that I love to go see. But I still think it was fun to see it in the theaters, so I'm going to give it a matinee it.
Nice. My review for it, and I also agree with you, I think just based on sound design alone, it is worth seeing in the theater for sure, as long as you feel safe doing so. We saw it in IMAX because I believe it was filmed for IMAX, and a lot of people said see it on the biggest screen possible, and I'm like, well, that's IMAX for me here. So we went and saw it, and I'm going to go ahead and give this a check it out. I've been thinking a lot about this since we left the theater, and the more and more I thought about it, the more curious I keep getting about certain things I keep thinking about. So that is our review and our rating for Jordan Peele's Nope. If you've seen the movie, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.